Hi there, this is Solitude Ronan.
And this is Nazareth Prod. And welcome to another show, episodes 3 and 4 of the Decalogue.
Yes, welcome along.
And we hope you enjoy this episode. Hopefully you can hear it better than last week's. And you may see there's no video this week. We've gone so much more old school. We're going towards radio every week.
Yes, who said radio was dead?
Nobody. We're having some technical problems still. I'm blaming Skype because Skype seems to hate us. So there we go.
Yes, this is going to end up being a running joke where we'll just have images of ourselves every week.
Yeah, I've been trying to look at the instructions and everything sounds normal and sounds reasonable, and then you go and do it and never works. It's like, what did I do wrong? And I'm sure it's technology just hating us, you know. So this is actually like a, you know,
it's a podcast essentially.
It's a podcast, but it's also, we're talking about Eastern European films from the 80s. This is almost the way to do it, is to have things that don't work, and we're method podcasting with this.
We really need somebody to be standing over censoring everything we say as well.
Yeah, that's what we need. So this is Decalogue's... Pardon?
To get into the spirit of the 80s communism.
Oh yeah, we need to really go to that level. It's what we need. So we're doing Decalogue 3 and 4, episodes 3 and 4, which we watched last week. We already discussed before we started. I'll introduce part 3 and you introduce part 4.
Yes.
Mainly because I don't want to introduce part 4 because part 4 is weird, and I was like, how the hell do you introduce this? Because it is one of the more out there stories.
Yes, I'll try and do my best to explain it.
Yeah, part 3 is complicated, but compared to part 4 it's pretty easy. You know, so part 3 is what's happening is there's a taxi driver who is taking his family to, he's coming up to his family as Santa Claus on Christmas Eve. He's trying to be a good father. There's some tension between him and his wife. We don't know why, but you know there's tensions. Then a woman appears and says that her husband has disappeared, and she asks me to help him to find her husband. So they go through the night to find her husband through different places in the city to try and find her husband, like try to check the hospitals, try to check anything they can think of where her husband could be. And that's the story, is these two people who you find out were lovers try to find her ex-husband. I think we've better talk about this first before we mention anything that's spoilery. Do you want to do it where we talk about both of them and then we'll discuss spoilers at the end?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Because it means we can cut off at some point and say, okay, you haven't seen it. We'll give you a general description, then we'll go to spoilers later. I've got to say before we start, these two, well, I really loved the first two. These two really blew me away. These really knocked my socks off. And I remembered both of them when I started watching them.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I saw the third one, I don't think I was actually that impressed with it in respect to the other ones. But the more I watch it, just the more impressive it gets, and maybe just because I'm older, I can kind of appreciate it more, because it's a really good one.
Yeah, it is wonderful, but it is subtle. It takes its time.
Yeah, it's another slow burn.
Yeah, but compared to some of the other ones, I actually found it a bit more fast-paced than some of the other films we've seen already. So far in the series, it's just compared to what you see normally in both cinema, it feels slow-paced, or slower-paced than what you usually get. But compared to some of the other Decalogues, even part 4, this is quite fast-paced because they're going from place to place to find this person. It's almost the action.
Yes, and even
story.
You know, for your action fans, there's actually a car chase in it.
Well, let's not go too far. It's
It's a slow speed car chase.
Do they even turn a corner in this car chase? I don't think they can even turn a corner. It's straight going fast, and she says to him, "Slow down. It's your car."
Yeah.
And that's it. It's something solved by common sense. Like, what the hell are you doing? That's all it is. A car chase with common sense added. So yeah, it's a wonderful film about guilt and things you couldn't change in the past, and how do you react to guilt is the kind of main thing I take away from this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's also about loneliness, because the woman talks about, especially at this time of year, being Christmas, there's lots of shots of doors opening and closing, usually in her face, and it's just a wonderful atmospheric film.
Yeah, you also see the father from the first story briefly as well in the first.
Yes, Pavel's dad appears at the start, and it's quite heartbreaking, really.
Yeah, it's just, as soon as you see him, like, oh my god, oh no, this is bad, this is not good. But it's also, even within a family that seems to be happy, there's tension though, because his family, there's a sense that there's stuff that's...
Yeah, you get the feeling that his wife is aware of his past, and he has maybe strayed before with the same woman.
Yeah, it's a complicated situation, but she also doesn't seem to hate him either. You can sense she wants him to stay. She wants to deal with it as a grown-up. Like, there's no way she can win if she acts like a child, basically. So she has to let whatever happens happen and see where it's going to go.
Yeah, because you do feel that he is a decent guy, and she realises that he's not a bad guy.
Yeah, so there is some trust there, even though there's tension. She's like, his wife knows something's up, but how much she knows, you don't really know till later on. But it's always there. But yeah, there's a sense of loneliness even within him and within his wife. Of the family's around. It's Christmas, but because they're traumas from the past, they're enjoying it with the family, but as soon as the family's out the door, or they're in closed doors away from the family, the doom kind of descends again.
And again, Kieślowski shows us kind of being political without being overtly political, as far as when they go to the mortuary, the condition that's in, when they go to that bizarre place for alcoholics where the guys spraying them with ice cold water and they're in cages. I mean, it's quite bizarre, but that just gives you an idea of some of the circumstances at the time.
Yeah, there's a whole sense of depression throughout this film. It's there more than other films. You really get a sense that there's something's off, but it's also, it seems much more richer. There's different cinematographers.
Yeah.
In this one, it feels like there's more lighting of details. Like the apartments seem to be lit in more interesting ways, a bit more less. It's still realistic, but it feels a bit more detailed. But it just adds to claustrophobia, because you're seeing all the details of all the kind of angst, and you get a sense that even within the family relationships, there's been angst for a couple of years. Below the surface, has just been building and building, it hasn't been resolved. And then you go out to the town, out to the city, and it's the same way. There's all these institutions that have just been allowed to kind of grow old and dysfunctional, and no one's really looked at into them. And it's almost like a metaphor for the country, this dying relationship.
Yeah. The performances are fantastic, particularly by the actress who plays Eva. I mean, she just has fantastic eyes throughout the whole thing, and it's just, you really empathise with her.
Yeah, because it's kind of character could be like a femme fatale, but she's not. She's much more human, and the guy is terrific. But he's this kind of sad sack element to him.
Yeah.
He feels kind of run down by everybody.
Yeah, because I think quite a lot of characters in the Decalogue series have the same kind of thing. And again, it's this kind of oppressive feeling of the society and the country at the time.
Yeah, it's also they know all those places that are crumbling, like the mortuary and the drunk tank and stuff. They all know about that. And he's a taxi driver, so he drives around there all the time. He drives people around all the time, and he knows how bad the city is.
Yeah.
Like there's no protection for him for how bad the city is. He knows, and he can feel the weight of it on him.
Yeah, it's a tremendous hour.
Yeah, but the woman Eva, it's kind of hard to talk about her because without spoilers. Though it's like, there's something about her that we can't talk about until we get into spoilers. That's really important, and it's really brings the whole thing together in a fascinating way. But it's so you just go through the general setup just now because there's an atmosphere, because the setup is terrific. You're just this feeling of she's gone through this bad situation, and she's also has someone helped her grow up who's obviously senile now as well. She doesn't even have the family support. And that's a really important scene because you just realise she's in serious problems because even her support groups are gone.
Yeah, and even the way the woman in the home looks at her when she comes in to visit her aunt, she kind of looks at her in a really demeaning way as well. So there's obviously some history there as well. Maybe she doesn't visit that often.
Yeah, it's not a good situation. It's pretty stressed out and weird for her. I just don't think she seems very unhappy. She seems very much like she's trapped in like a sort of prison almost, but it's a prison of her normal existence.
But just the way it's performed, you're immediately kind of, you empathise with her, and like you say, she could have been like a femme fatale or whatever, but she's a lot more grounded.
Yeah, because it's taken a lot of what was film noir, because that came from like Europe. It's taken a lot of the emotions of that, but it's saying these are people rather than plot mechanics. So this could have been off onto some weird, twisty story, but instead it becomes something grounded that you could see in real life in any town. Again, not trying to avoid spoilers, but there's just this weird atmosphere to the characters almost. They're informing the atmosphere of the film. Like it's coming from them rather than the outside production design coming towards them. They're kind of, you see it from their point of view almost. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kieślowski actually does a Hitchcock in this one because he's actually in it briefly. There's a scene in the church where they're at mass and the camera kind of pans round Janusz, and the guy in front of him is actually Kieślowski.
Wow.
Which I've only noticed this time. The first like 2 or 3 times I watched it, I didn't even notice. Yeah.
What a show off, eh?
I know. It's like,
really, have self-respect, please. You're meant to be a master. You're not meant to hack like Hitchcock.
He doesn't walk across the frame looking behind the camera or anything.
He doesn't wiggle his finger at the audience and say mm-mm. But what can you do? I never noticed. I wasn't really looking.
I mean, I've never noticed before. It's just, it must be this Blu-ray. It's obviously a lot better.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is we're saying how good the Blu-ray was last time.
Fantastic.
But I think this story, it really jumped out because there's lots of stuff of people looking through blinds and things that initially felt noirish, like when you see them before, but when you see it in this with lots of layers of light in it, it becomes much more nuanced.
Yeah, because we talked on episode 1 about how the artificial eye DVDs and VHSs were really quite dark.
Yeah.
Whereas these Blu-ray prints are just so much better.
Yeah, They're a bit too able for error, the first lot, really.
Yes.
But yeah, this one especially did seem to jump out as the one thing when I was watching this. The one thing I kept on thinking about was Eyes Wide Shut. With
Yeah.
it just felt like this one had influenced Kubrick, because I heard Kubrick was a big fan of Kieślowski, and I felt with this one just by the atmosphere as I'm going through, the guy wandering through the city with his woman, just the same way in Eyes Wide Shut, Cruise is walking through the city, getting into these incidents, and it's something that's hard to get a hold of what's going on. There's all these interior houses, they seem a lot warmer than outside, and it's unsatisfying marriages and things. It feels like Kubrick took a lot from Kieślowski.
Yeah, I mean, Kubrick said that each episode is a mini masterpiece, so who are we to argue with that?
No, yeah, it's but it was just when I was watching it, like, this really feels like Eyes Wide Shut. Like, there's a definite influence there. Like, it's not ripping it off, it's just like there's obviously like, one director thought, okay, there's a lot of stuff here that just, even if not conscious, even just maybe through subconsciously, it just feels there's a link.
Yeah, because I think last episode you'd mentioned Chernobyl and kind of the look of that as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of influences, but this one did feel like there was a lot of, like, I remember when I used to watch, there's a lot of European films in the 90s feel kind of more like this than some of the other ones in Decalogue. This one feels much closer to that 90s. What followed, I think maybe this one influenced a lot of people because it feels much more like people had seen this one and it had floated through other people's films.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure of that, how well sent that. I can't think of any example, but it just feels like I've seen films that obviously were influenced by this one.
Yeah, there's a definite mood to it.
Yeah. It feels very different from the first two. It's just, I think it's just two adults really, and it feels like the other ones, some of the other stories are more like you've out of the four, you've already had two with involved children or young adults.
Yeah.
And you have another one with an old guy and a woman. This one is two people of breeding age together. It's the first time, and it just gives it a different feel.
So we go into spoilers for this one?
Well, I think we should do the other one then. Spoil.
We'll do the other one then.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'll try and talk less next time because I think I've kind of hogged it a little bit in this one.
No, that's fine. Okay, Decalogue 4 features, it's pretty much a two-hander between a father and a daughter, Michael and Anka, and they have a kind of playful relationship. You know, the film starts with them both pouring water over each other. He goes away in business, and there's this letter that Anka finds from her dead mother that says, "Open on my death," or after my death. And obviously she is intrigued by this, but she kind of doesn't want to open it. She is in acting school. She has a boyfriend, but eventually the kind of temptation is too much, and she opens the letter, and it has information regarding who her father may or may not be, and that kind of changes the relationship between the two, and that's kind of where it all kind of moves and sets off the episode, if that makes any sense.
Yep, it does. I mean, this one. Sorry.
Yeah, this one is complicated. It's kind of quietly subversive, and you can't really go too far into it without spoilers. But that's kind of the setup of the episode. It's shot, we're talking about the cinematography on episode 3. Episode 4 is a lot brighter. There's quite a lot of external shots away from the housing estate. It's a much brighter film, even though it's a kind of darker subject matter. It's about, obviously, identity and how the relationship between a male and a female can change depending on information.
Well, the thing that jumped out at me is that this feels the most Bergman-esque of the ones I've seen so far. Like, the weird interactions feels much more like a Bergman film from the 70s compared to what's come before.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout.
Yeah. But it's not like Bergman at all as well. It's just that's kind of closest you can give to... Okay, this might be the kind of story, but it's sort of like... That's just a general story. Feels there's some resemblance, but the way it's told is completely different.
Yeah, I mean, this one is about big questions.
Yeah.
Really big questions.
And it has planes in it. Before we get serious, there's planes in this one. Not even a car chase, planes.
Yes, they might have. This must be the biggest budget episode.
Yeah, they even go to the airport. That's like they've thrown all the money in this episode.
Yes.
But this is funny because it is the most claustrophobic one as well. So even when you get the planes, it still feels claustrophobic because there's this sort of sense of things are going to go really bad here. So even though you've got all these exterior scenes, it's almost like ironic because
I mean, it does start off light. It's funny at the start. There's comedy in it, and then obviously the tone shifts slightly.
But there's always a tone underneath the surface, even from the start. Something's off.
Yeah.
Like I found out anyway. Even when they were throwing the water over each other, you could sense there's something here that's not quite.
Yes.
Something's wrong, but you don't have enough information to point it out. But they are acting way closer than a father and daughter would normally act. Really.
Yes.
Which gets your suspicions up of what's going on. But at the same time, they seem like nice people.
Yeah.
But as you go further on, you realise there are some demons in both of them they've kept under control.
Yes, the father's played by the actor who appears in 3 Colours White. And again, with the overlapping of the characters, the Doctor from episode 2 appears, and there's also a character who will appear in a later Decalogue that makes a cameo.
Yep.
So there's always this kind of organic community roundabout crossing over between these films.
The Doctor's cameo was good.
Yeah.
That was a really funny little moment. Like he just gets in the way of something serious and he's just in the way suddenly.
Yes.
Which is great. Because it's sort of like his story as well in the episode 2.
Yeah.
He's this tank who suddenly just get out of the way, please. Which
So I do think though that this is one of the episodes that has the most spoilers, and you can't really talk about the real meat of it without going into spoilers.
Yeah, I think we've almost run out of space beyond. Yeah, it's light. There's planes. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go into spoilers now. So, here, spoiler territory. If you don't want to know any more, stop now. But definitely go see the film.
Yes.
Because it's amazing.
Yeah,
but,
another excellent episode.
Yeah. All 4 so far have been amazing. It's not a surprise, but I just seen them again. It's stunning how good they are. Just rewatching them.
Yeah, and seeing them again on really nice prints. And the music is spectacularly good as well. Never gets in the way, but it's just beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the music. It was just there. It wasn't really.
Yeah.
I never really thought about it. It was just part of the film, which is what I've been finding in all the episodes. I haven't really been noticing the music, even though it's really terrific. It's just not. It's just doing its job.
Yeah.
And that sounds damning, but it's not. It's just sometimes the music can be brilliant, but also just do its job. It's not overbearing in any way.
No.
So, shall we go into spoilers then?
Yes, for episode 4.
Yep. And then we'll go back to episode 3 spoilers after that.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. So, she then tells Michael what was in the letter, that he is not her father.
Yeah.
And this is a huge kind of relief for her almost, because she explains how when she's been with her boyfriends or whatever, she always feels guilty, and she always feels like Michael is actually the one that she's meant to be with. And of course he doesn't take this well.
Well, who would?
So it just becomes really tense and really kind of uncomfortable and dark, as she's almost, giving herself to Michael, who is resisting.
Yeah, hence the Bergman thing, who's always seems to be an edge of incest in some of his movies.
Yes.
There's always a lot of subtext in Bergman, this kind of stuff as well. But this one is, but it could also be the fact that they're too close. Because the mother's not there, the bonds have gotten too close, and they haven't realised it. Because I just find out further going as well, she didn't actually read the letter.
Yes, she actually made it up.
Yeah, so we don't actually know what was in the letter. Because
she wants that.
Yeah,
she wants to have a deeper relationship with him.
But it's obviously not healthy. And she doesn't look healthy through the film. She looks ill and tired and worn down by what's in her head. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's, again, 2 great performances. And how it ends is they both agree to burn the letter, so they'll never actually know what was in it.
Yeah.
Again, it's a kind of quietly subversive little film.
Yeah, but it's also the thing is, going through the story is she's prodding him in some of the feelings he's had as well. She's using it to try and get what's under his skin, because she wants to know what's going on with him as well.
Yeah, so she asks him, questions, but he has to tell the truth, or if she catches him in a lie, he has to tell the truth. So there's lots of kind of uncomfortable questions that come up.
Yeah, and she's using the idea that he's not her father to get that information out, which she would never talk about if he was her father.
Yeah, and it's how the relationship changes if he's not her father, because obviously she wants something more and he's fighting against it for certain reasons.
Yeah. But the thing is, it was never going to happen anyway, though, because even though he was physically not a father, he's a father.
Yeah.
Really, he brought her up. He's a father. I mean, you don't have to be the physical parent to still be the parent.
Yes.
And it's just she's confused all that, and so is he, because they haven't enough outside influences. They've just got in their head so much headspace, and I think it's a case of she's idealised him beyond anyone she's with. Is they're not as good as my father, and it's become destructive.
She also had an abortion.
Yeah,
because it gets all very complicated.
Yeah, it's very sticky emotions, but then again, you're also never quite sure if she's telling the exact truth, because she may have been got the abortion for some other reason that she's not ready to face, or maybe
when she tells him what's in the letter, the way she describes it is very believable, and obviously you do believe that is what is in the letter. It's only later that we find out she just made it up because she's an actress.
Yeah, she's a very good actress, and she really knows how to twist them.
Yeah.
And it's very complicated and difficult for him, because you start to feel for the guy, because he's really getting through the ringer with someone who's much better with this kind of thing than he is.
Yeah.
Because he's out of his league, and I feel he's suppressed lots of weird thoughts over the years, and he's just never dealt with anything, and she's kind of harbouring him to kind of get some sort of resolution.
Yeah, I mean, as with all the other films, the details are just excellent. I mean, there's a moment where she's upset in the bed and her t-shirt's kind of risen up to expose part of her back, and he gently kind of reaches, but then just pulls the t-shirt back down again. It's just little details that are just so well done.
There's also the bit earlier on when he throws water over her. He looks
looks at her at
too long.
Strange way.
It's like, it's just a bit too long. It's like, what's going on here? What? Obviously, she's felt that as well. I think they're both kind of very confused, but she's the one who's the actress who seems to have more of an agenda to push it forward for some reason. She's not quite sure why. But
There's one. Sorry.
I think it's a case of trying to get through this to see why, to try and figure out what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, there's one scene where she essentially strips for him, which is obviously rather uncomfortable.
Yeah. But it's really a very strong film, but I'm pretty sure anyone who's in a sensible would probably fit when they saw it.
Yes, I'm surprised they got away with it, to be honest, but...
Yeah. Especially on communism, it's bad enough to get away with that kind of stuff here in the West.
Yes.
I mean, even that would be getting a lot of complaints over here.
Yes.
It's like, it must have been because he was so kind of revered at that point, and he was known as a good director. Maybe also it could have been maybe not enough people saw it to really get too offended, but I have no idea how to get away with some of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's another absolutely excellent episode.
Yeah, it's wonderful, but it definitely feels just like he's pushing it stuff that is going under the surface of some people that no one's ever going to face. Like how close people can be in a family, probably too close, and they're never going to face up to. The way maybe the relationship has gone off tangent slightly, no one's willing to face up to it.
And again, by the scene at the end when they burn the letter, it is kind of left to your own imagination of how their relationship will actually move forward.
Yeah, they don't explain anything. It's like
no, he just lets it sit and it fades to black and good luck.
Yeah, I don't think you can really end that one. That one feels like there's no way to actually end it. It's more satisfying not to end it, just to leave it that way, because it's like it's more disturbing that way.
Yeah,
and it's a very strong episode, but it's like you can see why I wanted you to explain it rather than me.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little bit complicated.
Yeah, it was like, I was really it's like how much to explain even like non-spoiler sections. Like how do you actually do this one? This is just too much.
Two more great performances.
Yep. And yeah, it really is. It does feel more with a two-hander than most of the other episodes. It's because not only is a two-hander, but it's also, even though the other episodes tend to have two main characters who meet up and don't meet up, and these two seem to always be coming at each other, and they have a lot of questions. In other episodes, people are avoiding questions a lot of the time, or in this one, they're pushing forward, even though in some ways they're avoiding some of the answers. They're still pushing forward, so it's got a different feel to it.
Yeah, it's more confrontational than the other episodes.
Kinda, but I also think that they've also they're being confrontational, but they're also dodging as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
I don't think they really want the answers they're asking for. Just the same way, I don't think the situation in the third one is I don't think they really wanted to talk about what was the real source of some of the problems they had. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
It's just two different ways of not dealing with a situation. One's like to talk it out, but only kind. Another one is almost like have tons of distractions. Really, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to go into spoiler territory with episode 3?
Yeah, sure. That seems kind of easy after 4. Episode 3, spoiler was that obviously, the first spoiler was something you suspect early on, that the husband has left her like ages ago, and she's used this whole situation to as a lie to try and get close to her ex-lover. That's a bit. Everyone kind of spots that well before we're told, we're confirmed, but I think everyone knows it. It's like the engine of the story. But the actual real spoiler is if she couldn't keep him interested for until like 6 in the morning, she would kill herself.
Yes.
Which is the real spoiler.
Yeah.
Because
I really found it this time to be really quite emotional at the end, because you do actually feel for her. Yeah.
And it could go either way. Suddenly you realise it could have gone either way. And I think what I haven't seen it again is the details of all the lies feel more intriguing, because you know that there's something else there. It's not just... Yeah. It's like, it seems sadder seeing all it's almost like a ghost story where she's walking through her life and her mistakes, and she's...
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice when she, goes into her flat and tries to arrange razors and coats to make it look as though her husband's still with her. But then Janis kind of figures that out when he has a wee look at the razor.
Yeah, he can see through it almost instantly.
But then he doesn't confront her with it. He just kind of lets the night continue.
Yeah, because he's curious as well, but he's never quite sure of why he's curious. Like, should he go back, should he not? But it's never articulated in any way. Like, he's trying to work it out, but he's not pushing too far. But I was going to ask, this is not a serious question, what was it with the red scarves in these 2 episodes? They seem to have red scarves all over the place.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Whether it's just coincidence or whether they just had the same costumes for 2 episodes.
No, it's just really weird. It just was like, there must be a meaning. There's no way that's accidental, so it must be a meaning somewhere. But I like the fact that she used her own scarf as to see it was his scarf.
Yes.
That was a nice touch. But yeah, I thought it was quite moving though, just the idea of her trying to keep him interested, so she gets some connection with someone for a certain amount of time to suggest that life is worth living.
I mean, like I said, when I first saw it years ago, it probably wasn't one of my favourites, but then the older I get and the more I see it, it is actually one of the more emotional episodes.
Yeah, it is quite wonderful actually. I mean, there's lots of lovely moments in it. But again, that kind of just that feeling of, now when you know what the story is, it feels, just to me, it feels much more ghostly if she's trying to work up her life, and he's trying to work up his relationship with her to see where he's going to go with his family. Because he jumps in too quick to her.
Yeah. And I just love how his wife is obviously aware of he's been with this woman, but she still lets him do it and doesn't cause a fuss because she knows that he's a decent man.
Yeah, she knows that her power's not there. She has to see what happens and trust that his conscience will bring him back. And it's almost like he had to go through that to be able to go back to his wife. Really.
Yeah.
He had to go through that kind of situation. Like, it hadn't been resolved because when they broke up, it was because they get caught together. And you find out that it was probably hard that phoned and had him caught. Like, she couldn't break off with him, so she got herself caught to break it off. And it was also a very self-destructive act. And it's like, well, why did she do that? You never find out.
Yeah.
Because there's much more mystery to her than the rest of him.
Yeah, I mean, Kieślowski doesn't give you answers to everything, and you shouldn't either.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I quite liked about it. It was just like, you never quite get what she's about. You just get a kind of feeling of someone who's lonely, but you never quite get everything with her. There is a mystery to her even in the end.
Yeah.
But you can still feel the emotion of the whole thing. Like, it's very sad that she's very much a broken person.
Yeah. But it's not done in a sentimental way or anything like that.
Oh no. I think emotion is not done. Sentimental is actually more powerful than it is when you've got lots of strings and like manipulation. Usually it means they don't have the performances, they don't have the story.
Yeah. And that goes back to the music. The music could have easily been, oh, you need to get emotional at this bit, or you need to get excited at this bit, like quite a lot of films do, but the music doesn't do that.
No, it feels just right. And again, I'd say I never really noticed the music, it was just there. I just was in part of the story. I find when I'm actually attached to a film, I don't really notice any of that stuff. It's just later on, when I rewatch it, I notice it, but it's just at the time, if I'm not noticing, it's doing its job.
Yeah.
But
so how would you sum up episodes 3 and 4?
I would say they're terrific. They seem more intimate than the first two, even though the first one had a death of a child. It felt much more like grown-ups. Trauma of grown-ups, this one, while the first two were more about families and parenting. Yeah. So it was slightly different. It was going in a different direction. That's what I took away from them.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
Just two more wonderful films, and kind of deeper, more metaphysical subjects, without being too pretentious.
We can
just about
pretentious here.
Loneliness and guilt, and obviously relationships and taboos. It's kind of on the way to building up to future episodes.
Yeah. Again, we should say that I haven't seen these episodes for years, so I don't remember them. Until I start watching them, I remember them suddenly instantly. But I don't know what's coming next. I know that number 5 and 6 are the short films that were turned into the films themselves, so I know I'll probably remember these a lot better than the rest of them. Yeah. Because I've seen the films and I've seen the Decalogue episodes. But I still don't know the direction it's taken. What was the reaction to these as they were released? Do you know?
I think they were actually quite popular on Polish television, bizarrely. And again, I think because they're not overtly political, I think that's why they were kind of left alone. And again, he didn't want to make them overtly political. He only made them political as in, here are the conditions that these people are living under. So I think that's why he got under the radar as far as the censors and whatever. But I think they were popular. I think they were shown once a week, over 10 weeks on Polish television. And it was kind of an event.
So this was basically his big hits, really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously his earlier films, I'm not sure ever made it to Polish television, or if they did, I think they had a fairly limited run. Whereas I think with him being in charge of the Tor Studios, I think he was pretty much left alone for this as far as the censors. And I think he did have success.
Was this like 98 we made these? What, 88 I mean?
Yeah, 88, 89.
Well, that's when communism was starting to fall, so
yeah,
there would have been less. They were too busy dealing with the fall of the Berlin Wall, I think, to really be focused on him or the build up to
but I think also because he didn't make them overtly political, I think he kind of knew they could be more universal that way rather than making them overtly political.
Yeah.
So it's more how the people are living and kind of the structures and hospitals and churches and institutions were breaking down, showing that rather than being overtly political.
Yeah, also showing don't get drunk and bang down curtain. It's going to be bad for you.
Yes.
It's going to be really bad for you.
Yeah, she'll end up in a cage.
With cold water.
Yeah, it's quite a bizarre scene, but unfortunately true.
Oh yeah, but it feels much more like something you'd see like in a film about like London in the Victorian era. That's what it feels like, and that actually comes through a lot in these episodes. It feels like in some ways very modern, and other times like the drunk tank, it feels like it's much more medieval. The world had moved on, but they hadn't moved on at the same pace as the rest of the world.
Yeah,
there's some modern. Pardon?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So that's Decalogue 3 and 4. Is there anything else we need to cover?
No, I would only just say go out and buy it if you haven't got a copy.
Yes.
Arrow Academy are releasing or I think it's out, a kind of slimmed down version of the special edition. I think you can get it for like £25 in the UK, so it's not expensive.
Yep. And not to judge you if you don't have it, but I am judging you, right?
Yeah, it's one of those essential purchases, really.
Yeah, it is wonderful. The actual picture quality is amazing, and the films themselves, even when we're talking about the details of them, they are very entertaining, they are very human. You're not going to be sitting there going, what's that meaning? Not, the stories are very simple, they get you from A to B very easily, but there's just a lot of meaning to them below the surface.
And they are, universal, and the fact is the characters are engaging, so you immediately kind of get hooked, and because just the way he tells stories, you want to know what happens, you follow the story and you're engaged.
Yeah, these are very wonderful films. So we'll be back hopefully like another week or two. This seems to have been a fortnightly thing at the moment, to do the next two. So are you
which controversially will be episode 5 and 6.
Yes, and that's a surprise, won't it?
Yes,
that'll shock them. Yeah, I lost my place there. Oh well, but yeah, but hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully I didn't feel like rambling. Hopefully I didn't talk too much, and we'll see you next time.
And please leave comments below if you have seen these Decalogue episodes and what you think of them. We're always interested to hear your thoughts. And leave a like or subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos. Might take a wee while to get some up, but they will be coming. Yeah,
there are technical problems. We seem to be worse at. We are.
Yes, it'll be a running joke.
Yeah, like each week it's going to get worse and worse. It'll soon be steampunk technology we're using for this. So, good luck for us the next one to see if we actually get it up.
Thanks very much for watching.
Right, bye.
Farewell.